Close your eyes and picture ancient Rome. Marble columns, the roar of the Colosseum, the scent of olive oil and baked bread floating through the air. A civilization that gave us aqueducts, law, and philosophy was also obsessed, almost fanatically, with hygiene, but not the kind of hygiene you're used to. Their idea of clean was radically different, sometimes brilliant, sometimes horrifying, often both. Let's pull back the curtain on Roman hygiene and discover three of the strangest habits that kept Rome clean. In its own unique way, no myths, no exaggerations, just real documented Roman behavior. And once you hear what they actually did to stay clean, you might never look at your toothbrush the same way again. Let's start with something that may sound like a joke, but it isn't. Roman citizens, wealthy, educated, elegant men and women, used urine to clean their teeth. That's right, human urine. They didn't just use it once, they valued it, stored it, and even traded it. Why? Because urine contains ammonia, a powerful natural cleanser. Barbers used it to polish their clients' teeth. Some people rinsed their mouths with it. Others believed it could whiten enamel and prevent disease. It gets weirder. The Emperor Vespasian famously taxed the public collection of urine. It was that valuable. When someone mocked him for making money off such filth, he held up a coin and said, "Money doesn't stink." Now your toothpaste doesn't sound so bad, does it? To be fair, ammonia does clean. Even today, it's found in household products. But the idea of swishing fermented human waste in your mouth still makes the stomach turn. And yet, for the Romans, it was completely normal, even desirable, because cleanliness wasn't just about being clean, it was about status, discipline, and superiority. Now, let's step inside a Roman bathhouse, steam rising, voices echoing, a social hub more than a hygiene stop. But instead of soft towels and warm soaps, Romans brought sand, pumice stones, and metal scrapers called strigils. They used them to scrub their bodies hard until the skin turned red, raw, even cracked. They believed that removing all sweat, oil, and body hair made them civilized. Smooth skin meant you were refined. Hairy, rough skin, that was for slaves and barbarians. Some slaves were trained just to scrape their masters' backs. Imagine having a full-time job, sanding someone's skin. The pain wasn't just tolerated, it was celebrated. Cleanliness was a performance. The more intense the scrub, the more refined you were. Even pumice powder had multiple uses. Women used it as makeup to lighten their skin. Men rubbed it on their faces to soften bristles before shaving. This wasn't hygiene, this was identity. And the final piece of the puzzle? Mouth scent, what the Romans called the breath of the soul. No chewing gum, of course, but they had something else, resins. Sticky tree saps like myrrh or frankincense. They chewed them to freshen breath, aid digestion, and, some believed, ward off evil spirits. The elite carried small containers of scented powders. They'd touch them to the tongue, chew them between teeth, or even rub them into the gums. This wasn't just about smelling nice, it was about sophistication, ritual, even seduction. Some scholars think these fragrant habits played a role in courtship. After all, what better way to charm someone than with a sweet breath and golden resin shining between your teeth? In Rome, oral care bordered on the mystical. It was taste, smell, spirituality, all in one. By now, one thing is clear. The Romans weren't lazy, they weren't clueless, they were meticulous, proud, relentless in their pursuit of purity, even if it meant scraping skin raw, or rinsing with urine, or chewing chunks of tree sap between battles and speeches. To us, it seems grotesque, but to them, it was the height of refinement. In fact, the more you dig into Roman hygiene, the more you realize they were both ahead of their time and completely insane. But here's the real question. If they were willing to do this for hygiene, what on earth did they do when they got sick? How did they perform surgeries? What did they believe caused disease? And what terrifying methods did they use to cure it? Spoiler, it involves leeches, gladiator blood, and heated metal tools. So, are you ready for the next chapter?